what's up with all these trans girls and claiming they only want dudes with like 14 inches of dong? Um, I mean, of course, that's a bit of a
Uh,
hyperbole, but Chris, you
man.
pointed me to this
Oh yeah,
on
yeah,
Twitter, which
yeah.
is a lot of these girls on Twitter are talking about, oh, where are all my big cocked men out there? Where are these guys with big cocks and stuff like that? And by and large, uh, they're not out there. Like, yeah, there are some, but they don't seem to know how a bell curve works and how standard deviation works. So, um,
And I would also say they're dealing with a limited market. They don't
yeah, well,
get the
that's what I
full
mean.
sample size of all males.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, look, man, I'm not mad at. I I want to be salty, but I have no logical reason to be salty. Only because, and these girls spend like thousands of dollars to get themselves looking that good. Like the girls that are saying this shit that we are talking about, like, and I could just say the name right out. Like the first person that I saw saying this was porn star or cam girl. Now she's not. She doesn't really do professional porn like that anymore. Is Kelly Pierce, and she was like, she just outright said, "I will never date a guy with a smaller penis than me." And then like I just saw a few other adult film stars just kind of jump on the bandwagon. They're like, "Oh yeah, absolutely!" Like I would never, and I'm just like, okay, I feel you on that. I mean, Kelly Pierce doesn't have anything magnificent, so it's really not much of a struggle to overcome that one. But I mean, at the end of the day, I can't be 100% mad at a lot of these top tier porn star chicks that look fucking gorgeous because they spent, I mean, tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds. I don't know how much a lot of these surgeries cost, but to get breast implants, get their face changed up, hips, ass, all the laser surgery they get or laser procedures they get for the hair. Like, I mean, they put a lot of money into themselves, man. So I can't 100% be mad at those chicks, but I will look at a let's just call it a level one, a beginner transgender girl. I will look at that motherfucker funny as hell if they came out like that, because I'm like, you really, like, you don't even, like, do you know how you look? Like you shouldn't be demanding these higher standards right now. Like I just don't. I'm not with it depending on how they look. So
Yeah, I'm actually going to take a slightly different stance, which is I'm going to be salty regardless of how they look. And the reason I'm going to be salty about it is I think it sets a bad precedent. I think it perpetuates bad stereotypes, and I think it perpetuates the problem of if you don't have a big cock, you're not shit, which uh, which I think is generally speaking unfair. I mean, if the only thing in life is la 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 if the only thing you want out of life is to shove the biggest thing you possibly can up your ass, like Natalie Mars, by the way, who is just fantastic at that. Um, if that's the only thing that you want, there are toys of all shapes and sizes. So you actually don't need a guy with a colossal fucking dick. I mean, what they're saying is like, yeah, I think what they're saying is like, I want a real man and stuff like that. And I think that's just unfair. And I think that's overly judgmental because, I mean, how many of those guys are then going to look at that person and say, yeah, well, I want a real girl? And it's like, let's not start. I say let's not start that situation, and let's not perpetuate that situation. So I am a little salty about these girls going, I want a big cock, and they're all size queens and whatever. Like, to say I want a big cock in my fantasies, in my mind, in my porn and stuff like that, that's one thing. But to say, like, the only thing I'm looking for is a big cock and a partner, to me, that's just like, I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me.
hey
Um,
man, people have deal breakers. That's for them, for these girls. That's a deal breaker.
yeah, no, I
I
mean, I
mean,
hear
I
that.
got
I
my
hear
deal
that.
breakers, man.
I mean,
you know.
I hear that. I do. I'm just I think it's an unfortunate deal breaker. Um,
hmm
that's
Only
all.
because there's like you were talking about before. there's not much to be done about it. Like if my deal breaker
There's
was
nothing to be done about
chicks
it.
with small boobs, and if you don't have this cup size, you can't be with me. Well, you can go out and buy some boobs, and boom, you're in. Like,
Yeah, well, it's also like I don't want to date fat guys. It's like, well, I can work out. You know,
well, yeah,
we
you can change that.
We can change that, but there's things that are part of us that we can't change. You know, I mean, I might as well just say I'm not dating people with brown eyes, which of course would be bad because my girlfriend has brown eyes. But it's like that doesn't. To me, it doesn't. You know, I don't know. I'm salty about it. I'm so salty.
Hey, you ain't the only one out there. I mean, there was other guys out there responding to her tweets, just upset, and she was like, "Well, what's wrong with my preferences to be my preferences?" And I'm like, "Hey, I mean, I guess in that respect, your preference is your preference. The only time I throw the whole preferences bullshit argument out the window is when they, talk about their racial preferences, but." I mean, I don't know. They really, I don't know. She got really defensive about it when dudes start challenging her.
Yeah, well, I
her on
think that preference thing is bullshit. I think it's a bullshit argument. I think it's that's my preference, and it's like, yes, I cannot change your preference, to be certain, but your preference,
And that doesn't
I
make
don't know.
it right.
I don't know.
Like I think
I can't
they use that argument as like, well, it's my preference, and that means what I'm saying can never be wrong. And it's like,
right,
and
I don't
not 100% true.
Yeah, and that's such a slippery slope because of course, trans girls are my preference. You know, like yours are big tits are your preference and stuff like that. But there is a difference between I prefer this and I will accept this. I don't know. It doesn't sound like a preference to me. It sounds like this has to be this way, or it's just not fucking working.
Yeah, I mean that's just bad. Like if you did date a girl for like a good month, and you were really liking her, you were really feeling her, and you kind of felt some chemistry, and then all of a sudden she gets into your pants, and then it's over. Like that would be that. I'm not gonna lie, that would hurt.
It would absolutely hurt. But also, you don't want a shitty person like that anyway. So,
true.
Maybe you dodged a bullet, guys. I would love to hear you guys chime in out there. What do you think about that? What do you think about all these trans girls out there that only want men with huge cocks? And of course, I say all these trans girls, and of course, that is such a misstatement because we don't know if it's all trans girls.
Nah.
You know, most of them are probably cool as shit. We're just talking about these ones that are really vocal about it, but
elitist ones.
Yeah. But definitely hit us up at transtalkformen@gmail.com or transtalkformen Twitter, and let us know how you think about that.